I am an American soldier. I am a warrior and member of a team. I serve the people of the United States and live the Army, Marine, Navy, Air Force, and Coast Guard values. I will always place the mission first. I will never accept defeat. I will never quit. I will never leave a fallen friend behind. Today we're here to honor 16 vets who for one reason or another would have been left behind except for our group here. Something has happened during their lifetime to where they have wound up here with this beautiful cemetery without a family to give them the proper send-off. Sometimes the family turns their back on the vet, other times the vet has turned his back on the family. And then as we find in many cases, he has just outlived his family. But many years ago, they held up their hand and they took an oath to swear to defend this country from all enemies from within and from without. When they took that oath, the rest of us promised to be there for them at the ending of their days, regardless of what happened. We don't ask what happened during their life. We only know that they served a period of their life honorably with the United States military. Today, we have Clarence Strother, age 95, United States Navy, World War II. There's an indication there that he also came back for Vietnam. Craig Magoon, age 68, United States Navy, Vietnam. And Donald Cole, age 80, United States Army, Vietnam. Those brought to the cemetery and left for burial without honor: Edward Phillips, United States Army Air Force. Isaac Smith, United States Army. Joseph Calhathi, United States Army. George Sweeney, United States Army. Veronica O'Rourke, United States Army. John Byron, United States Army Air Force. Lauren Caldwell, United States Army. Martin Torres, United States Army. Ronald Fishbeck, United States Army. Buford Legg, United States Army Air Force. Darrell Foster, United States Army. Rogelio Topi, United States Army. Alvin Nixon, United States Army.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
Monday, as I was driving back from Tombstone, where I've been down to visit my daughter and everything, I was going along there and I needed some change, and I was going through my pocket, and I happened to see this old quarter. I pulled it out there and I looked at it, and it had the date of 1977 on it. But that wasn't the thing that really caught my mind. On the left of, just left of that, it says, "In God we trust." And I think with all the things going on nowadays, before long there'll probably somebody get offended by that, and the currency won't no longer have that on there. But also at the same time, you know, I got thinking about it, our forefathers and the founding of this nation, how they were born on it was all on the God and the Christian values and everything. And when they built this country, you know, we were the greatest nation in the world. We were the leaders of everything there was and everything. But you know, in times those values have slipped away. We've done a lot of things. We're not the, you know, Obama said a couple of years ago, he said that we're no longer a Christian nation. And I really disliked the content that he was putting it in. But you know, the reality of it, in a way, he's right. You know, those values, we just don't have them now like they used to be. Most of us here are old enough to remember that, and I don't know if you're from a small enough community or not, but we used to do prayer in school when I was a small kid. But in 1962, the Supreme Court sided with this Mr. Ingalls that no longer they abolished prayer in school. And you know, taking those values away, that moral values and everything, they replaced it. There had to be something to replace it. Unfortunately, it was guns, and it was violence, it was dope, and it was sex. And I'm not talking about the sex like most all of us had in the backseat of our car in high school. I'm talking about the article that I read the other day about this group of boys that were 12 to 14 years old. and they raped this little 12-year-old girl. I thought, my gosh, how far we've gone down. But you know, I think too back about April 20th, 1999, when we had the massacre up at Columbine. And I remember how shocked I was. I think all of us were, you know. We were just astounded. We watched the news and we saw that. We prayed for the families, all the other kids and everything. And again, we saw what we thought was an isolated incident, but it was just the beginning of several of those type of things that happened. You know, and it wasn't just in high school. We saw, I went to Virginia Tech, and we got into college levels too. Let's see. That incident just, I don't know, it just kills me to think about that. But in 1973, the Supreme Court again had the verdict on the Roe versus Wade, and they legalized abortion. And again, we turned our back on God and we started doing that. We've had 53 million abortions from that time. And again, we're just turning our back on God. We're just having those, we're losing those moral values. We had the National Convention here a few weeks back and everything, and they had to have a vocal vote on whether they were going to include God and Israel in their platform and everything. I think all of us remember that. And Beaver Goshen got up there and they had that vocal vote, and they did it 3 times. I never resounding that it was no, but he said yes. And I thought, boy, how close can we get to taking God out of everything? There's in the Bible, there's Genesis 12, verses 2 and 3, and God's talking to Abraham, and he said, I will make you a great nation, and I will bless you, and all the people that bless you, I will bless them. And whosoever curse you, I will curse them. And all the people in the world will be blessed through you. And you know, until I was watching the debate Monday night, up till then, all I've heard about the current administration is how far we've pulled away from Israel and how big a mistake I thought that was. But it was a hot topic, and they're going that way, so I'm glad to see that, and I pray that they will continue to stay with Israel. You know, when we all signed that dotted line, said we were willing to give our life for this country and everything, we felt in our heart, you know, we were doing the right thing. With all this decay now and everything, I worry about the kids that have given their life for this country. And you know, I keep praying that one day it'll all turn around and again we'll be one nation under God. Let's pray. Dear Heavenly Father, we come before you this morning. We want to thank you for this opportunity to bring honor to you and to bring honor to these men and all of our soldiers and service people, men and women. We pray, Lord, that as we go out on our other missions and our rest of our life, that you'll follow over us and you'll take care of us. And we pray for this in your Son's name. Amen.
One of the facts that I've read over times when I read things and collect and store useless information, as George was talking about removing "In God We Trust" from our money, I believe there was one golden dollar or a silver dollar or something that came out that did not have "In God We Trust" on it. They had to call it back in, and it's on the rim of the coin now. But few people are aware that as far back as 1939, Franklin Delano Roosevelt attempted to remove "In God We Trust" from our coins and our money. He was just a common soldier, and his ranks are growing thin, but his presence should remind us we may need his like again. For when countries are in conflict, then we find the soldier's part is to clean up all the troubles that the politicians start. If we cannot do him honor while he's here to hear the praise, then at least let's give him homage at the ending of his days. Perhaps just a simple headline in a paper that would say, "Our country is in mourning for a soldier died today." I think that one section covers everything. I think our politicians are leading us down a road, and I don't see anything out of it other than we're going to be at war for years to come. Unfortunately, we're not putting God into our banners as we did in World War II and Korea. And you didn't see it in Vietnam too much. God began to disappear during Vietnam. But I remember my grandmother going to church with her, and one of the songs was "Onward, Christian Soldiers." And as long as God's flag is leading us, I don't see how we can do anything but set the world right. We've been the world's police force now for 50, 60 years, and I don't think we did it without God's help. And politicians now are giving God away, so if we give God away, our civilization, our way of life will disappear. So I hope there's enough of us out there, and I hope there's enough people who are just sitting on their hands and being a silent majority, or whatever you want to call them, who someday will rise up and say, enough is enough. We have to have our country back. Hopefully it won't be too late. Okay, I'm not a politician, I'm sorry. I don't mean to offend anybody, but I think however you vote this coming election, we're screwed. You vote one way and it's going to continue on in the way it is, and we will collapse. You vote the other way, I'm afraid he will not have enough time to straighten things out. So hopefully someday we'll find politicians who actually go to Washington, D.C. and Sacramento to do something for the people, and not just get their lifetime payroll and health care benefits for themselves and their family, and their free education for their children. Just by being there for one day. Maybe someday they'll have to live the same way we do and buy our own insurance. And okay. I'm not sure what